But first, it's time for sudden substitution. The budget segment where we take...
There's a jingle.
We need a sudden substitution song. So if you write songs, send one into us, and we won't pay you, but we will use it, and maybe we'll use your name, unless your song is lame.
Welcome into the segment, everybody. This is where we take an expensive commander card and give you some budget options for it. So this week, a card that maybe is actually kind of surprising that it's so expensive because it's fairly recent, but Finale of Devastation from just War of the Spark not that long ago. It's a $20 card.
It's the only card in that set that isn't worth $4 because everything else is worth $4.
Yeah, Finale Devastation.
A foil NFC Finale Devastation for $20 a year or so ago.
Oh gosh. Well, yeah, it's a crazy good card. Search your library and or graveyard for a creature card with converted mana costs X or less, put it on the battlefield. If X is 10 or more, creatures you control get plus X, and gained haste until end of turn. So I had somebody play this the other day in Commander and go, wait, I can get a card out of my graveyard too? This card is crazy powerful. It's also very, very good in Modern, which is one of the reasons it's $20. So let's let our guests go first with the budget replacement. Eric Levine, what do you think?
So I did a little digging around in the world of Commander, and I came up with Pattern of Rebirth, which got reprinted in Ultimate Masters somewhat recently. That was recently, right? Time is over. 3 and a green for an aura. When enchanted creature dies, that creature's controller may search their library for a creature card, put that card onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. Card's been hovering around $2, so pretty good budget replacement for that that $20 card. And it's pretty easy to activate. All you have to do is get your creature to die, which in Commander is easy enough with cards like Ashnod's Altar, Phyrexian Altar, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, certainly lots of ways to do that. I'll jump in next. I'm going to go with an old favorite of mine. Anybody who's watched my Mighty Modern content on YouTube knows that I am a fan of Eldritch Evolution. It is an interesting twist on this effect because unlike something like Finale of Devastation, which can get very expensive in the mana you put into it, Eldritch Evolution only costs 3 mana. However, you sacrifice a creature, and then you can get a creature card with converted mana cost X plus 2, where X was the CMC of the creature you sacrifice. So this is only $3. It's a great budget option here. And hey, you can even put it to work if you're in a sacrifice deck, if you have any sort of value like that. If you have a creature with Pattern of Rebirth on it, you sacrifice it to your Eldritch Evolution, and you just go get everything you want out of your deck. So at $4, Eldritch Evolution is a really nice replacement for Finale.
I love how you betrayed your Southern roots. Like you tried to I went to broadcast journalism school. I know how not to sound like I'm from Oklahoma. And then you go, Pattern of Rebirth. It's Rebirth.
All right. I have a card that you might have thought was $20. Defense of the Heart. This is a very old rare from Urza's, and it was $20 for a while.
Urza's what? You don't know.
Urza's Legacy.
Urza's Hammer? Urza's Bottle?
Oh. It's an Erlenmeyer flask. It's not a beaker. Jeez.
Whatever.
Urza's Legacy, it was $20 for a while. Then it got mystery boosted, and now it's around 7 or 8. It's much more affordable. And it always procs if it sticks around until your upkeep, because somebody's going to have 3 or more creatures. Then you sacrifice it, you put 2 creature cards into play, and you try not to make them be Deceiver Exarch and Zealous Conscripts, because then nobody will play with you again. So,
what would just those 2 cards do? Just tap 2 creatures? Are you thinking Kiki Jiki and Deceiver Exarch?
Any combination of those, yeah.
I don't think any combination. I'll play Zealous Conscripts and untap.
No, because if you pick Deceiver Exarch and Zealous Conscripts, then nobody wants to play with you again because they think you're an idiot.
No, I do remember when we changed the rules.
My logic is still sound, just...
my combo pieces!
If you put them both, if you put 2 of those cards in play at the same time, everybody has to concede, you win the game. It doesn't matter which 2 anymore. We've evolved.
No, that's how you make it interesting, is you shuffle, you pick those 6 or 7 cards out of your deck, you shuffle them all face down, and then your opponent has to pick 2.
Well, then they just assume that Kiki Jiki's in your hand, and then they concede because they just assume you're going to cast Kiki Jiki.
Yes.
So that might actually work. You're a genius.
Galaxy Brain.
Jason, what's your pick?
My pick is not quite as spicy as that, because no one's going to concede if you play this card correctly. But this has been reprinted quite a few times just because it's relevant in formats outside of EDH, which is, not the cards I typically like, but I like Chord of Calling.
Okay.
I like Green Sun Zenith more, but that costs more money. So if we're going for a
Yes.
budget replacement, I think Chord of Calling is real solid. Just got reprinted in the Double Masters. It's got that dumb text that said your creatures can help cast this spell, which
Yes,
I think
it
is
does.
just the worst. Just that's some 1993 we're writing on slips of paper in a dorm room text right there. I love how awkward and clunky that seems to me, and when that's written on cards, I really love it. So Chord of Calling's got clunky reminder text, but the rules text is pretty solid. You go and get a creature card with converted mana cost X or less, put it on the battlefield, then shuffle. But you can convoke it. So if you have a bunch of creatures, you can help pay for that X and get that Crater Hoof out and, end the game. So Chord of Calling, real solid. Not quite a Finale of Devastation, but at the same time, Finale doesn't really have convoke. So there are some situations where Chord's a little bit better. You can tap
It's
a
also an
Llanowar
instant.
Elf to convoke instead of tapping it for mana.
I mean,
Sure.
Chord's also an instant, right? So you can just
Yes.
do tricky stuff. You can let them attack into you, then you Chord into an Avenger of Zendikar while you're tapped out,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Get a creature that can get a Selfless Spirit at instant speed in response to a wrath, that sort of thing. Absolutely.
So Chord is just, it's probably not done getting reprinted in the year 2020, if we're being
That
honest.
might be true. Yeah.
Like it's probably in that Commander Spellbook Green thing coming out soon. So you know what? If Chord is always under $5, that's going to be just fine. It's super playable in EDH, and if it's always cheap, then good. You don't have to shell out $20 for that effect.